Hey y'all. Welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. So this video, we are late, but we are here. We are talking about Love Marriage Huntsville season 9, episode 10. This was last Saturday's episode. So about a week late, okay, because it's about to be Saturday in a couple hours here. For some of y'all, it's already Saturday. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. This is still a growing channel over here. Push that like button, comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode and share the video where you like to share your content. You can share it on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to do it. The Blue Sky, I'm not on there yet. I gotta check it out. I just been dragging my feet on that kind of stuff, y'all. The reason why this video is late, if y'all want to know the excuse I got. When I first watched the episode last week, and I probably watched it on Saturday or Sunday, I just was like, ugh, I'm tired of this show. And all the stuff they had going on social media, I was just tired. I was not feeling it. I was like, when we gonna wrap this up? Like, when is the reunion? But all this week I was like, oh, let me do this review. Let me do this review. I also haven't been motivated to come back to YouTube as much. I start back with school next week. Work started back. So most of the school districts, I'm sure everywhere, went back to school this week. So of course I'm back to teaching this week. So get back into that routine. And then next week will be work and school. So getting back into that routine as well, preparing my mind and heart for that, y'all. Sending up positive vibes and good prayers for me. Um, I was like, I've been on the fence. Like, should I just completely let YouTube go, or should I still stick with it? And I just was not motivated to come on here and do that Love and Marriage Huntsville review, just because I was just kind of over it. But when I rewatched the episode tonight, I was like, okay, I got into it. And the other night I watched DJ Richie Sky's review, and that kind of got me back into it as well. So shout out to him. I love his videos, his content. Um, yeah, let's talk about the review because y'all probably didn't want to hear all that. But anywho, and I know Ready to Love is coming back in February, and I definitely want to be on here for that. So yeah, and I want to do the reunion for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm just ready for them to wrap the season up. Like this is going on too long. Like how many episodes do we need in a season? It's like 100 episodes, and I saw the drama going on with Ariane and Sunni and Marceau, Martell, Letitia. I'm just sick of it. Child, they got more. There's a whole nother show on social media on this show. Anywho, let's get into this review, get it done. So, and y'all let me know how y'all doing in the comments. I know it's freezing and snowing in the south and the East Coast. And then we got the fires in Southern California. So y'all, hopefully y'all know by now, I live in Northern California. So I'm like 6-7 hours away from north of those fires. So I'm fine. Y'all don't have to worry about me when it comes to that. But I do have friends that live in SoCal. Whereas my sister does as well. But they are all safe as well. So our prayers definitely go out to those who are dealing with the fires in the LA area, right? Anywho, um, so this episode basically picked up where we had Chris and Nell Fletcher down to the pizza parlor. And I feel like we had to watch. This is the first thing I was annoyed with this episode. Why we had to watch and hear Chris and Nell smacking on that pizza for the first 5 minutes of the episode, not talking about nothing. You excited for your realty, your realty, whatever the word is, your real estate. You excited for your real estate company to move and open up? Yep. Like, who cares? Move on. So, anywho, so that was the first thing that irritated me. I'm sorry. Anyway, so Ms. Nell, she trying to get down to the bottom of Chris hooking up Martell with Trisha. I'm also very much tired of this storyline. We can wrap it up. Chris again explains, what happened, saying that he was at the gym. Martell was looking for the girls. He said, "There go one right here." All I gave him was the last name, and he looked her up somehow, and he found her. Okay, and so he's like, "That's my cousin on my mama's side and on my grandma's side." And Ms. Nell was looking at him sideways, and she was like, "Okay, but are you lying? Because you ain't looking at me. You looking past me." He was like, "No, I'm telling you the truth. That's all it was." And Ms. Nell's like, I know the guys are gonna be the guys. Like, I'm not tripping on that. It's just like we were supposed to be, helping their marriage get back together, and then you doing that. And he was like, well, at the time they were not together. And Ms. Nell and Chris were like, well, they not getting back together, so whatever. So um Chris was like, okay, and the girls, you be looking at the men's, because you know how she said Martell is fine and Ken is fine, and somebody else she was like, oh, Moses. She was like, well, Destiny had them all up in my face, so what was I supposed to do? She said she ain't dead and she ain't blind. I know that's right, Miss Nell. So I mean, Chris is acting like he told a different version of this story, because he was like, oh, that's what they said at the house wasn't true at the open house, but it's the same version of the story for me. So all right. Anywho, let me make sure this is turned up. Okay. So then the next thing we get is Maurice going down. Well, Melody going down to credit one, not fix her credit, but to talk to Maurice about, everything that's been going on. And I think he called her there for a sit down, I believe. And so she was like, oh, this is about that DUI thing. I don't want to talk about it no more. I done talked about it with Kimmy. I done talked about it with everybody. But you was running your mouth around town to talk about it with everybody, Mel. And now you don't want to talk about it no more? Okay, girl. So Maurice is like, you run around town disparaging my name. Like, what's good? And she's like, I think you've already messed up your reputation, sir. And he has. Okay, with that stuff he was doing with Kimmy when she was dealing with her cancer. He already did ruin his character with that. And so he was then trying to say, like, this is a different male. I want to go back to the original male, the happy male. She was like, what, you think I'm not happy? And so he was like, when you came to the show, you were kind of embarrassed and this and that has happened. And I feel like, you got resentment now, or you might be bitter, like hurt people and all this stuff. And maybe it's being around the group. And so Mel was like, first of all, let me get this straight. Like, I came on the show as a good showing that I'm a good mother and a good wife. Like, yeah, some things happened to me, but I'm good. I am happy. That's you thinking of stuff in the past. I am not going through anything anymore. And so Maurice feels like she was just trying to like act like she wasn't, but she is. And so she was like, well, first of all, me and you haven't had a conversation and a sit down in a long time. So how can you say you even know how I am? Okay, so this conversation at first, I was like, I don't know, Maurice. Like, okay, I see what Maurice is saying, right? Because what Maurice's thing is that he's kind of saying what we're saying as viewers, right? We can see Mel and Martell. They do seem like they're giving very much hurt people, and they are projecting their stuff on other people. However, I do understand Mel's point of Maurice, you have been closer with Martell, so you can't say how Mel is. And then also, like Mel said, like, yeah, during around the group, and then my ex-husband being there and he's doing stuff to me, yeah, of course I'm gonna feel some type of way. So it's like you have to also, Maurice, take into account what Mel has went through with Martell. Yeah, she is doing those things that you're saying. She clearly is. Is she in a better space now? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she is. Sometimes I don't see it. Like the way she's running around trying to say he had lipstick on the collar. Like she's, reverting back to that, like, I need to see who else is cheating. Like the misery loves company thing. So it almost gave like kind of right message, but wrong messenger, I think was the issue. And so Mel was like, let me be clear, I never made anyone, in this circle choose a side, but you did. And so she said, but I do want to make it clear, like, if you cool with my ex-husband, that's fine, but I probably won't be around you too much if you are, but that is picking a side. Isn't that picking a side? Like, is it just me? But isn't that technically like you picking a side? Because if you're saying, okay, if you cool with my husband, now I'm not gonna be cool with you. So then they do kind of got to pick a side. But I will say it feels like Maurice. I'm gonna throw Kimmy in there as well, somewhat. Have been more on Martell's team Martell, I would say, if we had to pick teams. But I would expect that from Maurice because he's a man, right? I wouldn't expect it from Kimmy But we do have those flashbacks of her saying, Martell is a good man, Savannah, even though he not and never was. And I feel like Marcel was close to Martell, but now it looks like him and Tisha gonna be more Team Melody because of the recent development. So I don't know. I do feel like it is a matter of picking the sides, though. I don't care what Mel say, and y'all can argue me down in the comments. I don't care. Now, am I mad that Mel's setting a boundary? Mel wants to set a boundary. Yeah, she can set a boundary all day. Like, we not tripping on that. Be healthy. Get away from the group if that's what you need to do, girl. Maybe you don't need to be on the show no more. I don't know, but do what you need to do for you. Anywho, so Maurice apologized, for everything. And so she was like, you know what? Just because you apologize, I'm going to apologize to you too for anything I might have done to hurt your heart. I was like, oh, she going to give him a little fake old church apology. Child, she only gave him that apology because he apologized to her. What if he didn't apologize to you? Was you going to give him that little hurt your heart apology, girl? Anyway. So, it was good to see them have a talk because we don't I can't actually remember a scene where we get Mel and Maurice, right? We've gotten a lot of I feel like I gotta sneeze. We've gotten a lot of Marceau and Mel, right? But we haven't gotten much Maurice and Mel. I can't remember a scene with just Maurice and Mel until today. Till this particular episode, I should say. Then I believe the next scene we get is when Marquez and Marceau and Chris Fletcher go out. And I thought they said Marquez left and didn't see his kids, but I guess he back in Huntsville. I don't know how all that works. Anyway, Marcel and Chris want to just kind of give some advice to Marquez. So they felt like he came in there kind of emotional, and Marcel said he's very emotional, and that's not good. And he does, seem to operate a lot off of emotion and not, doesn't seem very rational. Seems a little immature too. That's what I get from Marquez. Very immature tease. So he was trying to make it like he was basically leaving Trisha and coming right back. And it's like and Marcel and Chris were like, that's not how that worked. And then he was before they got to that point, but they were talking about he was saying like, it was like Marcel's like, well, did you at least enjoy the kids? Like, dang, you worried about Ken and Trisha. Did you enjoy the kids? He's like, yeah, I did. And he was like, yeah, I met Mel in person for the first time. And he's like, yeah, she's single, right? You hooked that up, Marcel, right? And Marcel's like, how am I do that? How? He was like, ain't you still married anyway? And he's like, oh, well, technically, and da-da-da. And then he was saying like, things are certain triggers for him because of what was going on with Ken and Trish and before he even left. And then he was talking about how he left and, he planned to come back. And Marcel was like, okay, Marcel basically holding his feet to the fire saying he wasn't being honest with him. He's like, you seem like you still have feelings for Trisha and you're not being honest about that. And like, don't sit here and lie to me. And you need to, worry about being in the kid's life. Basically, like he's so caught up in what's going on with Trish and Ken that he's not worried about being in the kid's life. And so Marcel wasn't giving him no empathy, no slack. And he was like, well, Chris, you seem like you understand what I'm saying better. But Marcel was keeping his foot on Marquez's neck like he always do, and I'm not mad at it. Anyway, moving on. So then we get down to the Mimosas with Melody. Now we remember they flashed back when they were saying previously on Love Marriage Huntsville. They flashed back to the one of the Mimosas with Melody we saw in like season 1 or 2. I think it's season 2. When it was all women. So I was like, okay, this is an old flashback. So this is supposed to be like the 5th installment of Mimosas with Melody, but she expanded it to be like the Black Business Expo, and that is set Marcel. So this now the event is co-ed, and she has people up there speaking and things like that. And so Maurice and Kimmy came as well as Marquez. I was like, Marquez, what are you doing here? And he brought flowers for Mel. Trisha and Ken came, Sunni came, the Fletchers came, and Marceau came by himself because he said Letitia is in there doing sin in Vegas doing sin with the center, Miss Wanda, which is funny. So Miss Wanda and Tisha down to Vegas. Okay, I just went to Vegas the day after New Year's. Had a good old time. Anywho, y'all know I love me some Vegas. So So yeah, Marcel was there. So they're sitting down. So now Marcel came into the event like he was on the panel, like it was him and Mel's event together. He was like, yeah, telling people, hey, this is what you came for. This is what you came for. So he was like, it's a Melometers in the room, but I think, some of them are some Marsoldiers. He didn't start calling his fans Marsoldiers. First of all, who is a Marcel fan like that want to be called a Marsoldier? Now, I like Marcel for the show. He plays his part very well. He showed up for this scene. He clocked in. He trolls people. I love the way he came in there. Marcel makes good reality TV. The problem I have with Marcel is the way he talks to Letitia and the way he doesn't always defend Letitia. That's when Marcel loses me. But when Marcel is getting the scene going, he's good for the show, right? And he's funny. So anywho, but I wouldn't say I'm a Marsoldier, no. And I ain't no Melometer. I'm Brandy, okay, and a child of God. Anywho, so he came in there and then he sat down with everybody, and then they was like, "Where's the mimosas at the Mimosas Melody?" So anyway, then he was like, Maurice is very much giving Black Business Expo, and so Maurice is like, well, she expanded, that's why it's co-ed now. So they had people up there speaking, they were giving good gems and all that. When you have those events like that, they say a lot of great motivating things and you could take away from it, but I feel like you have to actually have like a business or something going on or trying to move up in your own company or something to really get anything from it. I don't know. To me, I'm like, okay, people can tell you, I mean, maybe they're, giving, unless they're giving practical advice, I don't know. Anyway, Marquez came over there talking to Ken and Trisha. Meanwhile, they trying to send his kids money. And so he came over there trying to, make conversation and whatever, but they couldn't be bothered because they trying to send money and there's no reception there. So Kimmy and Maurice is like, okay, he's trying to make effort, y'all, what's up? And they were like, nah, we ain't gonna hear from him for a long time, and then he gonna text Trisha something crazy like he always do. And then Kimmy was like, yeah, it should be a one and done with that. Like he should not be doing that. And Maurice is like, you know what? Next time I give advice, I'm gonna get all the story first. I'm very sorry, because I guess Maurice thought like it was on Ken and Trisha, but then they was like, okay, we see Marquez is the issue here. So Marquez took them flowers to Mel, Miss Van, and Mel said, oh, thank you. And so he's like, your daughter's so beautiful and all that. Trish said he was being extra, of course. You could tell Marquez is trying to, make a spot on this show. You could tell. Anyway, then we see Mel go backstage and my feet hurt. I need my flats. Oh my God. Oh, my feet hurt. And I was like, dang, girl. I mean, I understand because my feet be hurt too, child. My feet was hurt when I was in Vegas. That's why I carry my fast flats anyway. But when she said, my feet hurt. My feet hurt so bad. So anyway, Sunny was like, my feet hurt too, girl. When I first watched the episode, I was like, oh, Sunny looked a little sloppy. But then when I rewatched it, I was like, you know what? Sunny was doing her best. Look, she was doing her personal best. Anyway, side note, did y'all hear about what the scene Sunni was saying in how they basically they tried to bring Ariana on the episode some seasons back. Martell tried to do it, and then Marcel or somebody said he had a video of Ariana. It was a bunch of stuff said. I think Sunni said it on her video or her live or something. Anyway, a mess. So Marcel and Marquez and Sunni and Mel are backstage or wherever they are in the in the main area of the venue. So Marquez offered Mel a foot rub, and then he was like, oh, I heard you was, he was shooting his shot at at the party or something. And he was like, I think earlier he's like, I did shoot my shot when they met up at the Mexican restaurant anyway. And so Mel's like, wait, what? Like had me blushing, like what? So and then Marcel was saying like, we can, make that happen, Mel. And she was like, aren't you still married? And so she told him, reach out to my people, send in your resume, and we can see how you can help and add to the team. Because he said he want to add value to Mel's life. Now, I don't know what value Marquez, broke self, go add, not take care of his kids self, Barely coming to Huntsville, self gonna add to Mel's life, but maybe, girl, I don't know. I don't see it for you, Marquez. You worry about yourself, okay? Um, Marcel was saying how, this was very much giving the Black Business Expo. So he was like, "Oh yeah, this is a good Black Business Expo melody, Mimosa melody." And she's like, "Run that back." And then he's like, "The Black Business Expo Mimosa melody." And so then she was like, "No, we expanded." She was like, "Is this your first time coming to the event?" And so Marquez tried to say it was the second time, and I was like, "Huh?" Anyway, but I think this was the first. I thought this was the first co-ed one. So anywho, um, so Marcel also was saying, I thought people wasn't gonna be liking me up in here, but you got some of our soldiers up in the room. So then she was like, first of all, no. And she was trying, you could tell she kept trying not to laugh at Marcel in the scene too. And she said in the confessional, like, is he recruiting people? Like, boy, bye. So anyway, then they get back into the main ballroom where the event is. And Kimmy and all them were there and the Fletchers. And so they was like, girl, Sunny girl, where Moses at? Where Moses at? Where Moses is at? And she was like, he's indisposed, he's detained. I think Kimmy said he's detained, I don't know, something like he went away to college. um and so she was like, he had a little probation situation. He's locked up and they won't let him out. Okay, he's locked up because he was not supposed to cross the state lines. And we already knew that that came out, I think, on the blogs some months ago, didn't it? Or a couple months ago. So we already knew that. So we could see where they're at, the timeline of the filming of the show. When are we going to talk about Kiki? They have not mentioned Kiki. Now I think we should be, we should already be past the point where Kiki passed, because I thought Kiki passed. It was sometime after Maurice got the DUI. So how come? I wonder why they have not mentioned Kiki. I wonder, is it something to do with the family? If y'all know, let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty sure we should have mentioned Kiki passing by now. Yeah, that's really weird. I just thought about that. Y'all let me know in the comments. Shouldn't they have talked about Kiki passing by now? When did Kiki pass? Wasn't it summertime? Anyway, and Moses has already been locked up. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere between Moses getting locked up and Maurice's DUI. Kiki passed, and it's somewhere in that time frame. Huh. Anyway, I know the family, didn't like whatever was on the show, so maybe that has to do with it. I'm very interested about that. I was gonna say concerned, not concerned, but I'm very wondering what's going on. Anyway, but yeah, Moses is locked up. Marcel said everybody on Love Marriage Huntsville get locked up, so whatever. It's just funny that Sunni, you did all this, girl, for Moses to be locked up. Like, girl, for real. Like, you and Destiny fighting over somebody who went back to jail anyway. It couldn't be me. It couldn't have been me. So Ms. Nell said, Mel, give me and Chris 1 second. We ain't trying to hijack your event. However, we're going to let y'all know we're inviting everybody to our 30-year vowel renewal ceremony celebration. So shout out to Chris and Nell Fletcher for their 30 years of marriage. That's a milestone, especially these days, because everybody getting down to the divorce, okay? But the way this economy set up, y'all better stick together. So make it work. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So they said they're gonna have a bachelor and a bachelorette party. Marcel said he gonna be down to the party. He said Miss Nell's the friend he don't want Letitia going out with. He gonna be having to call Letitia because you know how Miss Nell is. And they was like, okay, Marcel, you a lie. And then something, I can't remember what scene where it was in this scene, but Marcel, I think Marcel said Marquez is playing the part of a single man, and Mel was like, oh, like you do to Marcel. So see Marcel and Mel going back and forth makes good TV. It always does. Anyway, last scene we get is Miss Nell going down to the dress shop. She had her people there, I forgot the daughter's, then the niece's name, but I think they were there. Anyway, the dress she put on in that scene was gorgeous and it fit her so well. I'm sure they already had that planned. I'm pretty sure because they was like, oh, that dress is fit her like a glove, like it's made for yours. Usually in the dress shop, they don't be having all the sizes like that. I mean, sometimes, because I've tried on like, bridesmaid dresses in the shops like that. So maybe, okay. So Mel came, of course. Like, you so pretty, girl. Oh my God, don't mess up your makeup. Look at you, this body. Look at you, girl. Yes, yes. So Mel and Miss Nell talk, and Miss Nell said, you know what? You hurt me, friend. I've been trying to call you for weeks and weeks, but I couldn't pick up the phone, girl, because you hurt me so bad. And she said, you said I was not your mentor, and you got God and your Bible and your mama and everybody like that. And I don't appreciate how you discredit me as your mentor. I was there for you. I went through what you went through. I will be there to the wee hours in the morning, to talk to you and Martell. And I would have to ask my sister, somebody to stay there with my mom, because my mom was sick and she was going to pass away and all that. And she's like, of course I was there. I wanted to be there. But you discrediting me as your mentor, like that really hurt me and all this stuff. Now I do appreciate the way Miss Nell articulated her feelings and the issue in this scene. She did that very well, because she said she said I wanted to be there, right? So no one can say like, well, girl, you didn't have to be there if you didn't want to. She said I wanted to be there. Okay, I chose to be there for you and leave my mom and be there for you in the wee hours. And so Mel's like, well, from my understanding, you guys are my friends and you guys were more so helping Martell. I remember y'all would be getting on Martell. And so Ms. Nell's like, but you use the word mentor, and you see that's the problem I have with Mel, and why she is doing all this backpedaling, because when she introduced Miss Nell and Chris Fletcher to us seasons before they became regulars on the show, she said they were her and Martell's mentors. That's how Melody presented them to the show. So then for her now to backtrack and say like, girl, you was my mentor, you was only helping Martell and you was just my friend, I don't like that. And I think she is discrediting her. I kind of get what she's trying to say, like we were just friends, but you presented her as a mentor and kept saying, this is my mentor. So that's how we all took it as well. So like, don't play dumb in Miss Nell's face. Like you wasn't calling this lady a mentor, but now all of a sudden you going through what you going through, you not, now she not your mentor no more. You got God, your mom, and your friends. Okay, girl. So I'm not mad at Miss Nell, and I feel like her feelings are 100% valid in this situation. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Miss Nell did say, I'm glad you're not going through that anymore. You're in a much better place. I get it. And Miss Nell acknowledged, like, maybe she's in a better place now, so she is not seeing it that way. However, girl, that's how you said it. Like, they should have ran the tape again. That's how you said it on the show. So, like, you was calling that lady your mentor. She never said my friend. She would always say my mentor. Now, when in these last couple seasons that they became more regulars, the Fletchers, then they've been calling them friends. But anyway, I mean, it could be a game of semantics for some people. I don't know, but to me, it's this is how they were presented on the show. So I could see where Miss Nell's saying, where she's coming from. But Mel did apologize. And they got through it. So that was cool. Anyway, next week look like it's gonna be better too. Y'all let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Drop it in the comments, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you're a new subscriber, all those good things. Don't forget to share the video, hit that thumbs up button, help me get back into the algorithm. And it's always good to talk to y'all. I missed y'all. I really did. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.